a world where you and me, we show our hearts yet entirely. Deliver me from reality and take me to a fantasy. Tell me we can make.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we've got two teams who come in with identical records on the season. It's the Shamrocks going up against the Browns. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
Thank you, Larry. From the shores of Lake Erie, EA Sports has coverage of the NFL from First Energy Stadium here in Cleveland, Ohio. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Dublin Shamrocks and the Cleveland Browns. Strap in. This will be a good one. 2 one-loss teams getting together as they're underway on EA Sports. First and 10, it's Wilson. Forced out to his left. And his first pass is incomplete. And a lot of the weight of this offense falls on the shoulders of the running back.
That's because the offense knows if they give him any openings, any opportunities, he can turn it into a big play at any time.
Again on second and 10, it's Wilson. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And now the starting defense for the Browns.
Joe Hayden is a complete cornerback. He tackles, he covers, and does everything with incredible speed.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on third down. Now it's Wilson. And he comes back with one complete. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that's going to make it fourth down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
And wow, fortunately, he was able to get it back, but it's left his guys in a bit of a hole here. They're backed up deep to start this drive.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And here's a look at the starting offense. Second and 5. Now back to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position. I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Back to throw now on first down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Denzel Perryman. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. And here now the offense heading back out there. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
Oh, you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Second down here after the incomplete pass. Second and 10 now. Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Hunter Henry. And it's third down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
On third down, Wilson. He's got time. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. And they'll get 14 yards out of it and a fresh set of downs.
You and I both know most coaches are really fearful about their quarterbacks running with the ball. They don't want them to take that big hit. I don't think they worry about that with Russell Wilson. He's so smart in what he does, and we just saw it there in that scramble.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. They'll keep it on the ground. This time it's Gordon. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Just a yard on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
On second down, Wilson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
He's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Here's Drew Kaiser now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. .33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And we take a look at the starting lineup defensively.
Fletcher Cox is a first-round pick who has fulfilled his promise. One of the best defensive linemen in the NFL.
They're going to look to throw. Going left side, it's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, able to take this one down to the 20-yard line. And partner, a nice little connection there on the corner route.
The receiver set it up perfectly, worked his way inside, and then broke it back to the outside for the completion.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And they'll go with a ground attack here. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Back with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. Second down, 9 yards to go. They'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up first and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
5 yards, a good run there, and now second and goal.
Well, after last week, where he kept finding the end zone, what do you have, 2 touchdown runs?
Yep.
He's got to be just a tad frustrated here. Close, but he hasn't gotten in.
And he's in. Touchdown, Browns. It's their quarterback hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Browns have taken the lead. And he knocks it through. And Murray now, after the touchdown, he'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Now this offense ready to head back out there. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. That's strong running. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
They keep it on the ground. Again, Gordon. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to bring up a third down. Here's Wilson to throw.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far. There are a lot of tough routes to try and cover. When you see a runner come out of the backfield and run this angle route, looks like they're going to the flat, and then they put their foot in the ground and cut back sharply inside, not easily covered, and then when they catch it, good momentum built up by them.
And that's caught inside the 30. And they're able to get this one down to the 25. Give them 27 yards that time. And that'll give them a first down. Now the handoff comes to Gordon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was played. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were.
Here's Wilson. Buying time to his left. And it's caught. Touchdown. Dante Moncrief. His second touchdown on the season. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And when the quarterback drops and has a guy that wide open in the end zone, his eyes have to get just as big as grapefruits.
Oh, without a doubt. And this is the easiest throw you're going to get. And you're going to get the benefit of a touchdown on top of it. Make that throw.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Past the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A great play there with a return of 102 yards. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
They'll start the drive with a run by Gordon. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front? Creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility. And there was a good opportunity to just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
And it looks like this will likely be the last play before we hit the 2-minute warning.
Let's see if they can sneak one more good play in before the 2-minute signal.
And the back goes into motion. Now it's Wilson. And it's complete. Henry. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 1:58 to go in this first half of play. More from Cleveland after this. They come out here in the eye. Now Gordon on first down. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
I think the good offensive coordinators in the league now are looking at the fullback position and finding the right guys to hide in that spot and increase their passing game, as we just saw there. How about the run after catch? Racked it.
Well, yeah, whether it's a true fullback, a tight end you put in the fullback spot, you know they're going to be tough to bring down if you can get them the football in the passing game.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
15 yards through the air and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Danny Shelton, he's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. On second down, they'll run with Gordon. Stays on his feet and able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They'll pick up with 7 there, but they'll still have 12 yards to go on third down. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. $12 yards to go on third down. They'll come out in the pistol. From the gun on third down, Wilson finding time. And he's got Moncrief. And he's brought down after a good gain. That one goes for 29 yards on third down.
Well, the advantage has certainly shifted to the defense as we began that third down play, and they found a way to foil it and pick up a first down.
Third time's a charm, right? 2 incompletions. Had to have it on third, and they got it.
Yeah, they stuck with it, weren't daunted at all, and picked it up.
They'll try and punch it in. Gordon, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. Second and goal from the 5. And he'll give it here to his running back. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The line of scrimmage is the 2 here on 3rd and goal. And he motions the wide receiver. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great effort there as the first half is winding down. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to look deep down the field. And this is caught inside the 5. So, yeah, that's perfect. 2. Davis, deep. I gotta go. Okay, and sorry about that. Didn't know Larry got cut off early. We are back and ready for the 3rd quarter. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off his 3rd quarter. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You're probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
3 yards to go on 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. And the challenge pays dividends. The ref overturns the play.
Everyone gets a bonus on this one, Brandon. The coach upstairs who signaled down and said challenge it, and the head coach for pulling the red flag.
And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They come up in an offset eye. And they give this time to the tailback. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
And Murray's kick is up and good. And they take a 17-14 lead. So it's a 7-play drive, but it stalls out in the end.
Let's credit the defensive front seven. They were a little leaky at the start of the drive, but they stiffened toward the end.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Now it's his carry for Melvin Gordon. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to third down.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because...
And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. First down, Wilson. Completes it to Moncrief, left side. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now Wilson on first down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That's a really nice play, being able to stack that one up. But they get back in the huddle. He's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. And complete to Moncrief over the middle. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. And now they're in the hurry-up.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, not that. It came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
And from the 9-yard line now, it's 1st and goal. Now Gordon. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. 3-4 defense, usually here you'll see the linebackers come up and make those plays, but the nose tackle also vital.
Well, it's so vital because what you just pointed out, normally he eats up blockers that allows the linebackers to get to the ball carrier. In this case, he did his job and then some, and there was no gain at all for the runner.
Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. And we're back now here in Cleveland. just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. 3rd and goal from the 5. Maybe a little play action situation coming up. Give them a couple on the run there, and now they're in that in-between area here on 4th and goal.
I know a field goal ties it, but I'm not just tempted to go for it. I say do it. At this spot of the field, go get the touchdown.
And Lambeau will put this one through. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the 4th quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
And the Browns offense back out there ready to take over. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They come out here in the eye. They'll set up to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Let's go! Black round!
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. It finds Crabtree for the completion. And he's brought down after a good gain. He got 29 yards that time.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
Josh Gordon, the intended receiver, and now it's 2nd down.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And this one's incomplete.
As tight ends go, he might not provide the super flashy plays very often, but he's pretty reliable. Usually an excellent target and normally catches what's thrown to him, but he didn't on that play.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10.
Let's go! Brad 38! Brad 38!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep left, and this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by T.J. McDonald. Now this offense ready to take over again. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe bashed it.
Super toe.
On 2nd down, here's Wilson. Steps away to his left. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. Give him 6 on the play, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. Here's the sneak with Wilson. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
They pick it up on 3rd and 1 on the quarterback sneak, and that's not easily done because there are extra bodies in there on the defensive side, and they're moving forward at the snap.
Yeah, I was certainly expecting a handoff, weren't you?
Yeah, I totally was. I thought they'd go with it back, maybe try and get a lead blocker in front. But as you talk about in different games, those guys with confidence in their offensive line, they just want to move forward and get it. One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? In this case, they managed to get it done.
To throw is Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Now Wilson. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going for this thing on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Being chased out left. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. And now the Browns offense trots back onto the field. They are in field goal range here already. How do you handle this situation, tie game?
In a perfect scenario, you want to find a way to get the ball to the proper spot for your field goal kicker. They always have preferences. And you want to bleed the clock down so that when you do kick it, as the ball's going through the post,
zeros.
The clock hits zeros. Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups. And they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
Here we go.
And 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw again. And this one is incomplete. And that was incomplete, but I don't know how much of that falls on the quarterback. He was pressured.
Brandon, the rush showed up so fast, the quarterback had no chance to get the ball downfield.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This for the lead in the final stages. And Murray's kick is up and good. And with a little over a minute to play, they have taken the lead. Now then, it's a big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th. But, Charles, there is still time left for a final drive.
Brandon, you know they would have liked to take the clock down just a little bit further, at least under a minute or so, but this was not over yet, especially since they just need a field goal.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you, and this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time.
They practice it all the time.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Back to throw. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
And that incompletion was caused by the defense. I think they were trying to get one into the middle of the field, trying to find a receiver there. But they were in zone defense. And what are the advantages of being in zone? Eyes and reaction. Eyes meaning all eyes are on the quarterback and able to react when he throws the football and rally to that spot. And that's exactly what happened there. Able to get there and knock it away.
And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Wilson in the offense not coming off the field. They're going for it on 4th. The slot man in motion right. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. And the Browns getting set to go. 2 timeouts remaining defensively, but that shouldn't make much difference right here.
It really shouldn't, but a lot of coaches look at it similar to baseball with the intentional walk.
Always bringing in other sports.
Always, hey, listen, think about the intentional walk, right? What if one gets past the catcher? What if he uncorks a wild one and now you still have an opportunity? That's why they like to use them all the way through.
4 yards remaining now on 2nd down.
I like his thought process and his ability to move and get downfield. But what I didn't like was the final decision to go out of bounds. They want to keep the clock moving. Instead, they give the defense an extra timeout. And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. First and goal, they'll look to smash it in. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top.
And how about that? He missed it. Won't matter much in the final shakedown, but a bizarre way to end this victory. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Browns, and they're happy in the dog pound as we say so long from Cleveland.